Hey, we're at Red Bull NYC Day 2. We're here with TotalBiscuit, who's casting the tournament. He's also the owner of Team Axiom, who just won the GSTL. How do you feel?
Well, yesterday I felt exhausted because I hadn't slept in 2 days, thanks to my team. And I would like to personally say to them, damn you for making me miss 2 whole days of sleep. But I'm so proud of what they accomplished. That's incredible. I mean, even the first season of the run where we were so dominant in the group stage, and we beat IM and we beat MVP, and we did what people thought was impossible. People were predicting bottom of the table season 1, and they just completely shattered that expectation. And then we go into season 2 with an even stronger lineup featuring innovation. We dominate both the all-kill style and Pro League style with a 7-1 record and a ridiculous indicator. And, we finally come up against the real challenge because Azubu really prepared well for us. Their Pro League lineup for their maps was a tough lineup. Like, if we'd gone 4-0 there, like, in their favor, I wouldn't have been surprised because they picked so well. But the fighting spirit of the team, I think, really came through on day 2, and they showed they absolutely will not, they will not stand down. And they don't get rattled by that kind of stuff. They don't get depressed. They get angry. They get back in the booth and they play their hearts out. And we saw, in my opinion, one of the most fantastic GSTL series we've ever seen as a result.
So, like, the moment where the final GG came, like, what was happening? Like, what was your reaction? Were you in your hotel room just yelling by yourself?
I was in a hotel room yelling by myself. You can imagine I'm sitting up in bed. My laptop's just on the bed right there, and light is pouring through the curtains because at this point it's it's 8 a.m. I have not slept since 2 days before. I'm barely awake. I'm feeling just sick because I haven't slept and because I'm so nervous. Everything's on the line. Innovation goes in for TBT, but there's just this little smirk because everyone thought Innovation and TBT he's done for, but we knew what they were going to do weeks in advance of them even doing it. We expected to face Azubu in the finals because we feel StarTale had been underperforming, and we also knew that Bomber wouldn't be there to help them. Yeah. So we said, right, who exactly is going to go as their ace if it goes to that? Yeah. It will be Supernova. They will expect Innovation, so they will send Supernova. They will not send a Zerg against Innovation because of his reputation. And Innovation himself had already been preparing TBT for BlizzCon. We continued that training both with all of our in-house players and our outside practice partners and third-party teams. And he was more prepared for Terran versus Terran than anyone they could have ever possibly imagined. And he showed that with his play. His decision-making was just on another level.
So, back to your reaction. Now, you could contrast your reaction there to, like, seeing on the first day, seeing like Crank just like crushed after his his build order fight went poorly. Like, how does that feel in comparison?
Oh man, I mean, talk about like 2 ends of the emotional spectrum, right? The annoying thing about the Crank loss is that we talked about his build order beforehand, and he actually changed it, and that lost him the game. He had practiced a build that was still a Proxy Oracle build, but it was a safer variant of it that would not lose to 11-11. Yeah, because he had this feeling, and others had this feeling as well, that actually, yes, he would get 11-11 on that map because Proxy Oracle is fairly predictable. But he decided to be more greedy with the build, and he made that decision quite quickly. He didn't practice that greedy variant because for some reason he believed, no, 11-11 would not be coming, and he was mistaken. The crushing look on his face was because of that, because he knew that before he even started the match, he had that game won if he hadn't basically flipped a coin and made a dumb decision. And he tore himself apart over that. And he also knows that when he loses, that it demoralizes the team. He likes to lead from the front as a playing coach, and it's the same as how I feel when I watch him lose. I see it in his face. It's so crushing. And then you look at his face not only after the final map of the second series, but at the end of the ace match, and you just look this sheer look of like complete and utter exhausted relief. And I think that's how I felt. Of course, I was on the verge of passing out at that point. it was really hard to describe because they wanted that more than anything. I know some people think right now that GSTL isn't that relevant, but to us, GSTL was everything. It was everything in season 1 as well. We hired 2 players on before the GSTL when we financially could not afford to sustain that, because they wanted to play GSTL so badly. So we took a financial risk, a big one, to make that happen. And even though we came in third, I really think that paid off, because the amount of confidence the team got in the group stage and the pennant race was so large that it really said, look, we as a team, this is us. Like, this is now our identity. We are a competitive GSTL team. Our individual results might not be there, but we specialize in something different. So, yeah.
Actually, that's something I want to ask you about, because since GSTL Season 1, where you guys did so well just because you're focused on GSTL compared to other teams, seems like you guys have made a conscious decision to focus on GSTL, whereas a team like Seoul, which had the TCC champion Deer, who does really poorly in GSTL, and they admit, well, yeah, it's because GSTL for us is not like the main focus. We kind of just play with our regular skills. So why did you guys make a decision to play, focus more on team leagues, and why do you think some of the other teams have decided that, that's on the back burner a bit?
I think the thing about Axiom, which is really nice, is that it's a passion project and we can dedicate to what our players want, and we don't really have to make decisions based purely for financial reasons. Because right now we're stable, even though it's a big financial drain for me. Yeah, the team's not going anywhere. Like, we're not bankrupting ourselves. We can afford to sustain the team in its current state, and we're also a small team as well. And we're a team that communicates actively on a daily basis. The entire team's in Skype chat, which that was fun because Koreans barely use Skype. So getting Koreans to actually use the Skype chat was fun, but we talk all the time. They've got a direct line to the owner of the team and whenever they need it. So what the team does is very much based on what they want to do, and not due to sponsor obligations. So they wanted to play GSTL. They love team leagues. We're talking about guys that used to be B-teamers for things like STX and SKT1 in Brood War. So they came from a pro league background. They love team leagues. We're also talking about ex-Slayers. I mean, come on.
Zombie Slayers.
Yep, Zombie Slayers. Guys like Alicia, who no one ever fucking remembers. What the hell is with that?
Second place 3 in a row.
They remember MMA in that Ace match. They don't remember Alicia killing like Ness T, Yoda, and like at least one other player. They're not going to remember in this GSTL either, where Alicia he didn't just take out Symbol, he emotionally destroyed Symbol. Like, he did. Look at Symbol in that booth and tell me that is not the corpse of a man. He was just absolutely wrecked that, and taking out Bung Bung as well in commanding style. And I mean, he always had Supernova, really. There was one mistake I think which led to his loss, but these guys, they have GSTL experience. They wanted to recapture that glory, and they really wanted to prove to everyone, we're not Slayers outcasts. We're not cast-offs. We didn't need Boxer and Jessica to be a success. We are successful because we worked for it. GSTL is what represents that for them. That was their everything. And we wanted to support their vision. We want to support their dream 100%. And it paid off because they got it. They achieved what they wanted.
So would you say it's because you can offer them some baseline financial stability? They have sort of the space to go after those kind of goals, whereas like other players, because they're not making salary, they gotta say, hey, yo, I gotta make mine. I gotta go out and go for the big one.
I think that really has a lot to do with it. I really do. They feel stable, but they don't feel too comfortable to the point where they don't want to achieve anything. I think that they could definitely do better in WCS. I feel that Ryung could have taken Season 1, but he lost by 1 map to Hero in the semis. He would have beaten Revival, especially with his current ZVT at TVZ at that point. There's no question. The Season 2 was like a real disappointment for us, and we're not really sure what happened there. Season 3 was pretty good. I feel Hart beating Tasia 2-0 and putting on a great performance was really, really good, because I think it shows that everyone on our team has the depth and the talent to actually make a deep run, and Hart was the one player that kind of hadn't up to that point, so I think it shows that they can all do pretty well there. But a focus on individual performance, at least in the early part of 2014, is probably for the best, because we don't really know what's happening with GSTL. Obviously, we can play Acer Team Story Cup. We're going to the finals there, so we'll see how well we do without Acer support there, hopefully pretty well. But really, we don't need to win to be a success. I just want them to have a good pro gaming life. I want them to be able to make this a career, and I don't want that to be reliant on having to win tournaments in a game where that's inconsistent. And I know on a good day they can take on anybody. I really do. So I'm always really confident in their ability. I obviously am disappointed when they lose, but nowhere near as disappointed as they are. So I think they have the drive to succeed, and I'm looking forward to seeing some individual results as well in 2014.
Okay, one last question. So yeah, you said the future of GSTL was unclear. So what do you think is the future of non-pro league team leagues in esports? Like, what do you think is going to happen with that?
The problem with team leagues is that you really have to have an entire team in the same location, which means they can only really happen in Korea right now. I feel there could be European team leagues, and I think there should be, because I'm going to be honest, team league format better than any other format. I love watching team leagues more than I love watching individual leagues, because there's a layer of strategy beyond just the player. You've got the interaction of the coach and these decisions on a map-by-map and player-by-player basis. I think is really exciting, and you can also see these deep runs and all kills and 4 kills and just a player just tearing it up. And also using a lot of different strategies, like they wouldn't say a best of 7 series, but in individual maps where everything's on the line. There's nothing more exciting than that. I just hope that GOM puts a lot of support behind GSTL. I think after a really strong final with a packed out audience and with a really strong reaction from the foreign scene saying this was the best thing I've seen in a long time, that GOM will think, maybe we should support this more. I'm a little bit concerned about the number of teams, because with I am an MVP and Prime going to Kesper, we're really relying on Team Epic to come along and really round out the lineup to 6. But even with a 5-team GSTL, we still had an amazing season. So I'm saying to GOM, please put it on at a sensible time. Please don't put the VODs behind a paywall, and please support GSTL, because it's one of the most exciting properties you've got, and I think your final proved that to you.
Okay, and now that you're the owner of a championship Korean team, give me your best Korean outro. Last comments.
Cheer for me. I will show good game. To my fans, 감사합니다.
Thank you.